Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brad. Fight It. Fuck, I can't talk today. I'm having a really hard time doing this. What's going on, guys? This is Brad with Spike Fitness, and today I want to do a fast video and talk about the other side of accommodating resistance. In a previous video, I talked about setting up chains for accommodating resistance, and today I want to talk about bands for accommodating resistance. In today's training session, I'm going to go ahead and do some dynamic effort benching, but in doing so, I'm setting up the bands, and it just seemed like a unique opportunity to be able to talk about bands and accommodating resistance, be able to kind of describe some of these aspects to you guys in the event that it may help you, that you might have access to bands, or if you're interested, be able to purchase a set of your own. I will include a description in the box below of a Amazon affiliate link that you can check out that will lead you to the same pair that I had. At least at the time that I purchased them, they had a lifetime warranty, which is why I purchased them. So feel free to check out the link and check them out for yourself if that might be a set that you would want to pick up for your own use. I do highly recommend it because there is a variety of uses that you can use for bands, both from using it as a tool like accommodating resistance, or just as your resistance. If you're in a setting where you don't have much available to you, and especially with the climate, with the availability of gym equipment today, maybe be the only thing that you can find for additional resistance. So just that's there for you. Okay, so moving right along. The biggest thing about the accommodating resistance is, again, the ability to load and then unload, right? So with bands, the further you stretch them, the more resistance you're going to get. And then of course, once you collapse them enough and there's no tension, then that tension deloads and is therefore unloaded until you move again through your concentric portion of the lift rather, and add tension back on. Setting up bands specifically is not quite the same as setting up chains, because with chains, the way that I described it before, you want to have it set up in just such a way where the chains are loaded but not swinging freely, and then you'd like to have them essentially deload enough where you're maximizing that weight of the chain. With bands, it's a little bit different. So how you set up the bands, you just want to make sure that you have band tension. Now, how much band tension you use is kind of a personal preference and is going to rely on what it is that you're doing to make the determination of how much band tension you want. But for me, in this particular instance, since I'm doing some speed work, I want to make sure that I'm getting enough band tension to cause a little bit more stimulation at the top, but not so much band tension that it slows me down and I'm not able to stay at the speed that I want. The way that I can measure that is I happen to have what's known as a VBT, or a velocity-based trainer. This one is the Open Barbell Squats and Science VBT. You can check them out. Squats and Science is the company, and I think their newest iteration of this device is called Rep. But it attaches to the bar and has a tether that does calculations and tells me how fast I'm moving. So I use this to be objective in telling me exactly how fast I'm moving, so that I can make sure I'm sticking around about a meter per second is what my aim is. Now, going into the setting up for band tension, the biggest thing is making sure that however you decide to set it up, or whatever your specific accommodations are, that you set the bands up in a way that is balanced and symmetrical. So you want to ensure that it's balanced, in other words, it's not going to twist or rotate the bar on you based on your setup. And the other thing is you want to make sure that the amount of tension is the same. So however you set it up on one side, you want to make sure that you emulate exactly on the other side. So case in point, I happen to have one band set up on one side right now. So you can see that for this particular setup, I have band pegs. I have it attached over here, ran under this band peg here, and then come up to the bar. What I wouldn't want to do is then take this band, which is quite a bit thicker than the band that I have currently attached, and set this band up on the other side and just leave it like that, right? It's not the same, and the result would be unpleasant. So however you end up electing to set it up with your specific accommodations, you just want to make sure that they're the same, essentially, from one to the other. So in this particular instance, I would find the pair band, and then I would come over here, same thing as before, loop it onto this band peg here, loop it under this band peg here, and then up into the bar. Again, making sure that There's no twists, there's no knots, there's nothing in here that's going to add additional tension onto this band that isn't on this band. And this particular setup, is nice because, as you can see, the bar rests here, but the band tension will be here. So that'll allow me, once I unrack, that bar will settle naturally over top of that anchor point and allow me to clear the rack so I can bench free and clear without running into issues of clipping the rack. And then, basically I can make the determination if this is enough band tension for me or not. If I wanted more, I could add on potentially another band or a bigger band, or however I want to kind of crack that egg, but ensuring that both sides are equal and symmetrical to make sure that there's balance when I'm performing my movement, so that I don't get undue development on one side versus the other or whatever. So balance and symmetry is kind of important, but how you specifically set up your bands will be a product of what you have available to you. You may not have a rig like this where you have the benefit of band pegs. You might only have dumbbells that you have to loop the band around, or come up with some other way to be able to secure the band in place to be able to add the tension that you're looking for. So it's not really all that beneficial to talk about all the ways that you might be able to set up band tension, but rather you get the gist of it, right? Ensure that you get some measure of band tension, it meets what you're looking for, it doesn't overpower you, and it's balanced and symmetrical. That's it for right now. If you guys have any more specific questions on bands, accommodating resistance, how to set things up, or recommendations that I might have with whatever setup that you might have, more than willing to chime in on whatever your setup is, or take a look at videos that you guys might have, or answer any other specific questions you may have. Just link them in the chat box below, and I'll be sure to respond. I appreciate you guys for all your support with the channel and everything that you do. Hopefully these videos are helpful, and if they are, and you know somebody else that it might benefit, please share it with them. I want to get to 10,000 subs this year, and I can't do it without you. So I definitely need to get more people into the channel and more people tuned on to the channel. So whatever you can do to help me meet and be introduced to more people, I would definitely be appreciative. That's it, guys. Remember, no matter what it is you think you can't do, utilize a tool like bands for accommodating resistance to get those gains you've been looking for. It's never going to happen if you don't get in and train to spite. You're either going to find an excuse, you're going to find a way. And I hope that you guys continue to find the way. Thanks for checking this one out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.